Today's Midday Kentucky cooking segment brought to you by Creative Kitchen and Bath, where you will always cook in style.
Welcome back to Midday Kentucky. Chef Allison Davis here in the Wild Time Kitchen, and we are making something quite healthy today. This is some, I guess, granola bites or energy bites that you can make at home. Reminds me a lot of those Lara bars or those just nut and fruit bars that are very, very popular. I mean, you go into the healthy food aisle now and you see probably a variety of 25 to 35 different bar options. But it is something that you can make, and you can make quite a bit with a little bit in a food processor. Might be a little bit difficult to make this by hand if you didn't have this utensil or appliance. So this is something I thought, and I've been talking recently about taking a visit to the lake and trying to think of just easy foods, easy things that you can make at home that you could take and transport that would hold up well and that would be easy for the family and the kids to enjoy, and not just a bag of chips, right? So this is again, energy bite that is gonna have a combination of pecans and almonds. And then you can clean out your pantry. This is a great one that you can kind of mix and match things that you have already without having to go to the store. So, for instance, in my pantry, I had some dried apricots, dried apricots, and dried cranberries, and then some sweetened coconut. Recipe I looked up called for raisins, but I had some little chocolate-coated raisins, and I thought, well, that would be perfect because kids like a little bit of chocolate, and a little bit is all you need because you don't want this to be something that would melt down in the hot sun. And then we've got some medjool dates that I'm just taking the pits out of, and then we're going to be mixing all of this together. The dates and the dried fruits are really going to sweeten this, but they're also going to kind of help be like a glue. They're going to kind of help glue this together so that it holds its shape, it holds its form, and the nuts don't just like fall apart. So I'm just taking some pits out, and then as far as a ratio, you're going with about a cup of each of the pecans and the almonds, and then with your little add-ins like your fruit and your coconut, you want to add about a quarter cup of each of those items. And then we're going to add in another bit of almond butter. And again, the almond butter is going to kind of serve as part of our wet ingredients. It's going to help all this bind together. And that's about a third of a cup of the almond butter. And then we're going to sweeten it with just a touch of honey and give it a little bit of cinnamon. So let's get started. We're going to start with our nuts and get those nice and kind of pulsed down into our food processor. So just kind of, pulse it a couple times just to really break it down. And then if you need to, we can give our fruit kind of a little bit of a rough chop before you add it in. That'll just help it to break down before it goes into the food processor. All right, so we're going to take our apricots in this recipe. Again, you can do whatever you want. I saw some with like dried blueberries, wild raisins, golden raisins. All right, so we're taking our dates, our almonds, our pecans, our apricots, and now our cranberries, and we're going to add those in and pulse them in. And you'll notice when you add your fruits, like it will start to kind of thicken and it'll start to really get a little harder with the blade. All right, so we're starting to get just kind of a nice dry paste or a dry mix. We're going to add in our coconut flake. And then I picked up this great little bag because I had a recipe that called for pumpkin seeds, and sometimes they're a little bit hard to find. And this was perfect. This is like in those salad seasoning mixes, but this has sesame seeds, it's got, I believe, some chia, it's got the pumpkin seeds, and it's got cranberries. So this is like a perfect little mix to add some different seeds and depth into your ball. All right, so that's all of our dry ingredients. We're going to pulse that again a couple times. And now we're going to add in our wet, and that's really going to kind of bring this together. And that's our almond butter, our honey, and our cinnamon. All right, well, you guys should definitely try this recipe out. I'm going to show you the finished product here and roll these out into some nice little energy bites. That'll be perfect for the lake or just like a summer day out here in Kentucky. All right, you know where to find this recipe. Go to middaykentucky.com/recipes tab. I'm Chef Allison Davis. You're watching Midday Kentucky. We'll be right back.